There's really no other feeling like soaring. No matter what your age, the first flight provides a very special, magical experience of a lifetime. Gliders first took to the skies over Harris Hill in 1930, when Elmira hosted the first national soaring contest in the United States. The next 12 national contests would be held here through 1946, excluding the war years. Elmira developed Harris Hill as a soaring site in the 30s and as an attraction which would become an economic lifeline during the Great Depression. During World War II, the U.S. Army Air Force started their glider training program on Harris Hill before moving it to Alabama and California. And in 1939, the now famous Schweitzer brothers moved their Schweitzer aircraft to the Elmira area and started to produce metal gliders. They continued to produce their innovative designs until 1987, when they began making helicopters. By that time, they had produced roughly half the gliders ever produced in the United States. Contemporary sailplanes are built of fiberglass, and the vast majority of these birds are now built in Germany. The evolution of sailplanes has seen these ships take on a much sleeker look. Capable of flying hundreds of miles at speeds in excess of 125 miles per hour, the long tapered wings and smooth, graceful fuselage curves mean the craft can effectively utilize almost all of the lift found in the ridge lift and thermals in the region surrounding Harris Hill. Ridge lift pushes the aircraft up as air moving down the Chemung River Valley strikes the face of Harris Hill and follows the contours of this landform. Used more often and with greater effectiveness, thermals are the rising columns of hot air generated when the sun's energy heats plowed fields, pavement, rooftops, or even cities. In effect, gliders use the largest engine in the world, the sun. These thermals are marked by newly formed cumulus clouds, or, as the pilots call them, big puffies. So they rise on one hot air bubble, then spot another cloud and sail over to rise again. Harris Hill today remains the focal point of soaring in the country for many reasons. Harris Hill's glider operation has been flying since the 1930s and boasts the largest junior soaring program for young pilots in the country. The National Soaring Museum continues to be a showcase for the sport and science as it has for the last 30 years. But perhaps the primary focal point today, as in its historic past, is competition. Soaring competition is the primary reason Elmira became and remains the soaring capital of America. Regional, national, international, and single design competitions all take place at Harris Hill. The first international vintage sailplane meet was hosted by Harris Hill in 1995, and another is scheduled for the year 2000. There is a sense of tension and awe in the early moments when the ships are brought out onto the grid for launch. The tow rope is attached. The ship is pulled off the hill by the tow plane over the Chemung River Valley. Released from the tow plane, and then run through the start gate. Pilots are given a task to fly each of several days. Always dependent on the weather, the task usually involves flying around a couple of checkpoints approximately 50 miles apart and then returning to Harris Hill. These are timed events, so after leaving the safety of the last thermal, the pilots gain speed by swooping down to dramatic and beautiful high-speed finishes. These open amateur competitions draw participants from varying, intriguing real-life occupations.
I'm a research and development mechanical engineer.
I have a PhD in aeronautical engineering.
I'm a municipal financial consultant.
I'm a meteorologist.
I'm a professor of aeronautics and astronautics at MIT.
Planetary geologist.
I'm a pilot.
I'm a family nurse practitioner.
I'm a lawyer.
I'm a Presbyterian minister.
I'm a student.
I'm an engineering instructor.
I'm a manufacturer's electronics
sales rep.
But whatever their backgrounds, their thrill of pure flight is universal. Eileen Collins, an American native inspired by the gliders of Harris Hill, was the first woman to pilot an American spacecraft, the Space Shuttle of 1995. Upon re-entry and landing, the shuttle is actually the world's fastest, largest, and certainly most complex glider. Just as the Wright brothers learned from glider experimentation 100 years ago, we are still reaping benefits from our continuing scientific study of motorless flight at Harris Hill. The National Soaring Museum, the Schweitzer production, early national contests, the World War II training program, and the competition of today make Harris Hill the soaring capital of America.